Hi, welcome to another video by Sparky. And today, for my second review today and my last, I'm going to go in to the Marvel movies that they did, the animated movies. And this set is a 4-disc set. There is a set with all 8 in it. But I found that you could get them cheaper by buying the 4 and then buying the other 3 movies individually, and I got this off the game marketplace with my game wallet, so I used my points and a gift card. I had some money I had left over from my gift card when I bought a game. So I couldn't get them off anywhere else to get, and they didn't have the full set, but I was able to pick up all the movies in a 4-disc and the other 3 individually. There only ever was 8 movies released. The other film I picked up, there is a one-off film which I'll show you, which I don't have a box for. It did come in a box, but it was a 3-disc set. This is the next Avengers, Heroes of Tomorrow, which I'll go into later. I just put it in a plastic wallet. I got that. They did have the movie individually, but it was cheaper, for whatever reason, it was cheaper to buy an Ultimate Avengers box set, which had the Avengers 1 and 2 in it, which I already got in the other set, and that film. So I gave the box with the Avengers 1 and 2 in it to my sister. She likes the movies as well, so I gave that to my sister, and I just kept the Heroes of Tomorrow in it. So getting into it, I'll start off with we'll do these movies in order, which was the Avengers. So these first 4 films all came in the same box set. This was the Ultimate Avengers. Get a look at the box there, which is a very basic white box with a Captain America shield on the inside. It does have some special features, which is Avengers Assemble featurette, the first look at Ultimate Avengers 2, a DVD-ROM game, What Avenger Are You?, which I haven't played yet. It has got a trivia pack integrated into the DVD-ROM and an Ultimate Voice talent search, which is a video of, I believe, just kind of fans who sent in videos of doing some of the voices of the characters to see if they could get anybody who would be able to be in the film who could voice one of the characters. Something along that line. I'm not too sure, but I think that's what it was. But this film anyway, starts off by showing Captain America during World War II. And basically it's the first 10 minutes of the movie gets into the segment during World War II. The villain in this, the Red Skull, never appears. It is a alien who disguises himself as a Nazi leader. He can shapeshift. His race can all shapeshift, which we'll get into a bit later. But this one, he was General something or other. I'm trying to remember the name. Is it on the back here? No, it is not. The name here isn't on. Doesn't seem to be on here. But he takes the place of a kind of Red Skull character. And he's basically getting ready to try and bring his race to Earth to invade it. And that's the general idea of what he's trying to do. So it starts off in World War II with Captain America fighting him. Captain America obviously doesn't die, but people think him to be dead through accident. I'll not give too much away as to what it was. It was a little different from the movies and things like that. But he ends up frozen in ice, and they bring him up later on in modern day. So that's the general idea of these films. This film, I should say, and of the second one, which is just a follow-up to it. So it's a part 1 and part 2. So it's kind of all the one story that follows through, rather than an out-and-out sequel. And then once they find him, Nick Fury and that starts to put together a shield, the Avengers initiative to bring the Avengers together, and he starts talking to the different characters to try and get them involved. And needless to say, not all the characters were completely on board to begin with, and like the movie, they start to bring in dissent between the characters, and it takes a while for them to become a team, but they do eventually become a team. And that in the long run is what this film was about, them becoming a team. It goes into a very interesting thing as well with the Hulk and Bruce Banner. Bruce Banner had been working on trying to reproduce the super soldier serum. And when also they find Captain America, they use his blood to help advance the research. And Banner develops it and then eventually injects it into himself. He felt that if he could inject it into himself, he'd be able to control the Hulk. But you'll see it where it would be Bruce that would be in there. And that was kind of the general idea of him working it in, and then it leading to disaster when it doesn't work initially, but then it starts to where the Hulk's body builds through it and breaks it down, the serum, and it goes off on a rampage and it starts fighting with other members of the Avengers, and it was a really interesting way to do it, and I think it's something that we hadn't really seen before. So that was really good. So overall, this is a very, very good movie. I'll not go too much more into it, not to spoil it for anyone that hasn't seen it. It was the first animated movie in this series of films, and they do pick up and get better over time. Not that this one is bad, this one is very, very good, but they start to get really good later on. And they do try and push the boundaries and do something a bit different. Just one more thing before I move on to the Avengers 2. The Avengers that are in this one are Captain America, Thor, the Hulk, Iron Man, Wasp and Giant Man. So the original Avengers from the comic books, and they stay pretty true to that. They don't bring in Spider-Man and other characters like Ant-Man and things like that. Don't come into it. Just the originals. So moving on to Avengers 2. So this is, I'll take the Heroes of Tomorrow out of there just now, so I can do that next. This has got the same characters in it, apart from, as you would notice on the front cover, this one has the Black Panther in the front. Now most of this story will take place in Wakanda, because it starts to lead into the storyline, let's say, with Claw coming into this one, but it still leads on from the first film. The alien character and they're coming here to try and take over, are attacking the whole Earth, but it mostly takes place in Wakanda, because the idea is that the vibranium that they store is actually from their planet, and that's why they're there in the first place. That is what brings them to Earth in the first place, the vibranium that the Wakanda is storing. So they make it out in this storyline that the aliens that are coming in it's their alloys, it's theirs, and they're there to get it back, along with take over the Earth at the same time. So let's say it starts off basically with the idea of Wakanda they're a very proud nation. The usual, you're saying they're a proud nation and they don't like outsiders coming in. T'Challa's father gets killed in the start of this, and then he becomes a Black Panther, and he wants revenge on Klaue for killing him. So it builds up to that through that, and gets to a point where the Avengers and T'Challa cross paths. T'Challa comes to seek out the Avengers for their help, just for, well, not so much help, but just for some advice on what they're dealing with. He doesn't want their out and out physical help at this time, but he asks them for any advice, and then when they offer their help, basically tells them he doesn't want their help, he doesn't want any outsiders to come in. Turn the radiator off. Sorry about that. But so he doesn't want them interfering, but they end up interfering anyway. And part of the story is him learning to be a wiser king, and to realise that not allowing the outside world to become a part of what's happening in the outside world, to become a part of Wakanda, is going to leave them behind, and it's going to be more substantial and better off for Wakanda to start becoming more involved in the outside world. And you've got that element of the story as well. So as I say, I'm not going too much more into it. It is, I kind of goes into about what follows on from where I left off with the aliens, introduces T'Challa and Klaue into the storyline, and basically kind of just takes it from there to a finish of the storyline, which I'll not give away what the finish of the actual story is. So that's it for that one. So that's the Avengers one's done for the main part. Just a wee quick say about this. It's an okay film. It was better than I expected it was going to be, and that was Next Avengers Heroes of Tomorrow. Now the idea of this is meant to be the offspring of the original Avengers, who were killed by Ultron, and Ultron is taken over. So there's only 2 surviving members of the Avengers, which is the Hulk, who will come into the film later on, and Tony Stark, Iron Man. He managed to survive, and he takes the children away and hides them. I don't want to give away too much else about where he hides them and things, because it's quite a what, didn't see that one coming kind of moment. So I'll not give that away. Basically, he takes them away and hides them, raises them, and he knows that they're eventually going to be the ones to defeat Ultron. It can only be them, and the story kind of develops from there, with Ultron finding out where they are and having to confront them. They learn more about they know who their parents were, but don't know too much about them. And it's all a journey, and a kind of coming to age journey for them, to learn who they really were. So the characters in this story, can't remember all of the names, but we've got in the middle there that is the son of Captain America and Black Widow. So he's got the black leather jacket and with the Black Widow, but he wears the blue trousers and the red boots like Captain America, and he carries a holographic shield instead of the titanium vibranium shield that Captain America uses. He has which we have seen in previous animated versions, other animated versions of the Avengers. I believe in the Avengers, one of the Avengers animated series, we do see the shield that Tony Stark makes and he puts it on, and it brings up a shield that way rather than the actual shield. But he's got that. We've got Thor's daughter, here Disney, you're assuming, it doesn't really mention it, but you're assuming her mother is the Queen of Asgard, you're assuming. But in saying that, because she's stuck on Earth, her mother might be non-Asgardian, she might be from Earth, but it doesn't really say who her mother is, it just mentions that Thor's her father, and she's been left on Earth at that time. We've got here, this is the son of Giant Man and Wasp, as you get at the top here. And we've got the sun in the corner here. You can't really quite see him, he's right in there at the corner, if you can see it. He is the current king of Wakanda, although he doesn't know he is a Black Panther. So he obviously passes on from father to son, and his father's dead, so he's now the Black Panther. Although he's not physically ruling Wakanda at that time, it doesn't exist anymore because Ultron's taken over the whole Earth. This is the two adult characters in this, Iron Man and the Hulk. The Hulk appears in this later on, where they seek out his help. Bruce Banner's kept the Hulk locked up, and all the years, it really gives you a chance to see of what all the years of having the monster of the Hulk in you and try to keep it in all the time, it's done to him. Whereas in other ones, you're always kind of mostly in the process of it doing it. This one, he's an older man, and you'll notice by the picture there, the Hulk's got white hair and a white beard. That is because obviously Bruce Banner is a lot older in this story, as is Tony Stark, also has long white hair and a wee goatee that he always had. Like I was saying about the Hulk, it really gives you a chance to see what all that torture and having to live with that all of that time and being alone because you can't be around anyone and you're scared that you'll hurt someone. That really gives you a chance to see of what he's become, and he's become a very bitter individual who doesn't want anything to do with anyone for that reason. And it's a very interesting way of doing it. It's something that I hadn't physically seen before. So the story in itself, let's say, was very good. I've already spoke much about the story. I don't want to give too much away. The characters were very well done. Oh, and I've still got one character there at the top there is Clint Barton Jr. He's the Hawkeye's son. He was the only one at the start of the film who wasn't with Tony. They thought he was dead, and then we discover later on that he'd been living out there in a kind of apocalyptic Earth, so leading a group of people, and they were just trying to survive. So that's the kind of basic story, coming of age, and then eventually them all coming together to fight Ultron and overthrow him. That's the kind of basis of that storyline. Definitely, it was better than I thought. I thought it was very good. But it's not I wouldn't say it was a rush out and buy type movie, but it was if you get it in a set, it was very, very good. So moving on, we'll move on to the Invincible Iron Man. With the Invincible Iron Man, which basically starts off in Tony's later years, in the sense of kind of his later years, where he does get captured and taken prisoner by terrorists. But he puts together the Iron Man suit, but then once he escapes, and in this film Rhodey's with him, which doesn't happen in the comic books, but Rhodey's actually with him in this, and when he escapes and he takes the Iron Man suit, like he does to escape, the basic one, when it actually gets back to his laboratory and that with Rhodey, Rhodey sees that he already has a plethora of suits, including space travel and underwater. He's designed a whole truckload of suits. Let's give you a look inside the box there. These babies are all very, very basic when it comes to the look of them. And like I say, it takes a wee bit of liberty with the story and just tweaking wee things to make it a bit different, so it's not as obvious what's going to happen. But it starts off with, this is all basically about Tony Stark was raising an ancient city, which is where an ancient culture believe I'll tell you what the name was. It should say at the back. It should be here somewhere. No, it doesn't say. I think it was something kind of Asian-y sounding anyway. I can't remember exactly what it was. But they're a group anyway, and it's their duty to make sure that the Mandarin never gets out. That's their duty. And when Tony Stark's raising this city, he's given the Mandarin an opportunity to get out. So it basically starts off that way, and then he starts to learn more about, after he gets captured and things, he starts to learn what's going on. There's a female character in this as well, who becomes a wee bit of a love interest for Tony, rather than Pepper. Pepper's a very just kind of secretary type person, and she actually looks a bit older than you would expect, and you wouldn't really expect Tony Stark to have a romantic interest in her, which in this movie he doesn't. So, but she's the romantic interest in this anyway. Here, Tony Stark starts to learn from her about what's going on. She takes pity on him with the Mandarin and the rings. So, basically, after Tony lifts the city out, a lot of the minions, if you like, of the Mandarin, who in this is he's like a spirit. He's not a physical being. He's a being that's trying. He had been a physical being, died, but this is more like his spirit, his ghost, if you like, in this story, and it's all about these guys his minions, kind of demons, try to find these rings so these rings can be used to bring him back to power and bring him into our world. One of the things that's in there is a kind of prophecy type deal where Tony the person that was destined to destroy the Mandarin in battle was the Iron Soldier, or the Iron Warrior, or whatever it was. And once they find Tony and he makes a suit, they start to believe that, certain members start to believe that Tony is the one, he's the chosen one. It's his destiny to fight the Mandarin and to defeat him. So that is how this kind of story pans out. There's also a backstory with Tony and his father, and the company turning against Tony and trying to isolate him. And the FBI the SHIELD are also chasing him, because they think he's responsible for a few things that he wasn't responsible for due to him being captured in China. And that all comes into it, and he's on the run. So there's a lot of elements that come into this story to give a lot of things to give that feel of anything can happen at any time, which this film does very well. So I'll not go too much more, and yet not to give stuff away, but definitely I would definitely check this film out. If you don't want to buy the whole set, check this one out. This is one of the best ones, Iron Man. I really enjoyed this. Just before I move on to the next one, it does have a origin of Iron Man. I look at the next movie which we're going to review, Doctor Strange, and some concept art and an alternative opening of the film for your bonus features on this set. All the movies pretty much come with a bonus feature about the making of the particular film. So what I'm going to do is, before I go on and move to the next one, I am desperate for a drink, so I can't pause the video during record, so I'm just going to stop it and I'll restart another video which I will put up, which will be part 2 of this video, and we'll do the rest of the movies then. So I'll see you in the next video. You can leave any comments and a thumbs up and subscribe through this video as well. But I'll put in a part 2 and I'll see you in the next video in a minute or two. Thank you.